Hello, everybody, and welcome to our latest episode of The Bulletproof Marketer. I am your fearless host, Christopher Tompkins, and today we have a killer topic, which is email marketing. Oh my gosh, it's not going to be about AI today. Yes, we have email marketing, a new subject matter that you have asked me to cover. So you asked for it, you got it, folks. We're going to be talking about email marketing. What can I tell you that you don't already know about email marketing? Maybe some things that you should look at in terms of your performance and in terms of your campaigns to make sure that when you get into September forward, you have a really strong finish to the year. A lot of people have been asking, hey, I've been doing the email marketing on a consistent basis, just not getting anything out of it. Just nothing's happening. What the hell? Like, why am I even doing this? I don't think I need email marketing. Let's do ads instead. Slow your roll, G, because that is not necessarily the answer. So we need to go through this topic in a little bit more detail shortly when I give you some of my ideas on quick fixes and also some directional information as to how you can start looking through your email marketing program and refining it for better success. Okay. So if you are new to the show, just a couple of business things real quick. Welcome. If you're a new watcher or listener, I'm so happy to have you here. I hope the information that you find in our episodes, either this one today or our past episodes and seasons, we've been around for quite a long time. So there's a wealth of information, maybe not the latest breaking in terms of news and trends in some of those older episodes, but a lot of fundamentals that are still true to this day. So please check them out. If you want to get more information on how to properly digital market and give you some ideas on how you can upgrade some of your own campaigns, visit thegoagency.com. That's my agency. We've been around for 16 years, helping companies from many different industries, local to global, really up their game in the digital marketing arena. So I have lots of tips and tactics and strategies there that you can try out, test on your company, see if they work for you. So lots of good information there. Also, I have my AI guide there. So you can go to our website, thegoagency.com, and you can grab that AI guide for free. You just put your email address in and we'll send it over to you, as well as a couple exclusive prompts that you can use in your chat GPT as well. So lots of good value there and a lot of information that I think will be useful for you. So go ahead, grab it if you want. And if you want to connect with me or my agency for any reason, all the links are in the description of this show, wherever you are consuming it. So get in touch. Why am I talking about email today? Because our lovely listeners have reached out and connected with me on LinkedIn and asked me some questions regarding email marketing, which kind of seemed like it has been a trend in terms of a topic, just like AI has been a trend. And we've been talking about it again and again over the last few episodes, different angles of it. And today I really want to lean into the email portion of it. Now, there are AI elements I could throw into this discussion about email, but I think what I really want to do is address the most common issues that I see when I'm talking to a new potential client or a new client at my own agency, whether I'm consulting or we're doing a retainer based service. There's some things that I hear as asks or outcomes that they're looking for that they can't really reach. And I do feel like this is a common issue. I hear the same questions a lot. Just think about you in your own role, how many things that you hear on a regular basis that are the same questions again and again. It's the same thing for any industry. So if that is happening, then these are true problems that we should really talk about and just get to the bottom of. So, in this no bullshit episode, I'm going to help you out with those issues related to email. Okay, so what do you want to get out of your email program? So, this is the question I always ask when I first start getting to know a company that I'm going to be working with through consulting or through retainer based campaigns at our agency. So, I want to find out what their desires are. What sorts of outcomes do they feel that they should be getting? So, what I find sometimes is that the outcomes and the process or strategy don't really align properly. So, let's go through some of these. Okay. So, I will talk to you. Hey, Mr. XYZ from company ABC. What are you looking to get out of your email marketing program? Leads. All right, here we go. We're going right into the leads question. Why did I throw that one out there first? Because let's be honest. Are we doing email marketing because it's going to help our health? That we're going to feel better and go to sleep and have a better sleep because we've been doing email marketing? That I ticked a box that my boss asked me to do. So that's kind of why I'm doing it, because it's a task on my list. This is not why we should be doing email marketing. We should be doing email marketing with a purpose behind it. Now, that purpose should come through the mission that we have to reach out, build relationships, and help the people that are going to be the recipients of these emails, as well as what do we need as a business as a result of these emails. Okay, so let's go down to brass tacks here. What are you going to get out of an email marketing program? Depends on your strategy, depends on what you're trying to aim for. You can get more, you can get visibility for your brand in front of your target audience on a consistent basis. That's the same patch of highway and passing all of those billboards on either side. You're getting visibility on these on a regular basis. Are you reading them all or recognizing them or thinking them through? Maybe not. But Chris, I'm sending the emails directly to people that have signed up. Oh, do you read all your emails? No, you don't. You only read emails that are important to you when you're receiving them. So if you have signed up to newsletters, maybe today is not the day that you really care about them. So you ignore them. So this is where the visibility helps, but maybe the engagement doesn't, because there might not be that much engagement. The visibility is definitely something that you can get. Credibility is another factor that's kind of intangible that will help you elevate your brand position. Because if you're offering a service or you're offering a product, trust is always going to be a factor, right? Trust is what people need to get over that fence to make that decision. Or some people just feel confident enough to move forward on things, see how it plays out. But many people like to have proof, like to have claims substantiated in order for them to trust you or find you credible. So through your email marketing, you can build your credibility by offering information that's helpful to that audience. You can also say, here's my latest blog, here's my latest white paper, here's my latest podcast episode, whatever you like. So even for the Bulletproof Marketer, I have an email that comes out twice a week. It's a base of listeners mostly, and also some people that have filled out and downloaded ebooks over the time that have signed up to the newsletter list. And it's twice a week. And I focus on offering really great information and helpful content that my subscribers can consume and benefit from. Then, based off of that, maybe they would like to have a further conversation with me. Maybe they'd like to learn more about my agents, or maybe they'll take those ideas, say that they work, and share with a friend, whatever. That's one of the outcomes that I'm looking for. But you should be doing the same thing. So we have visibility and we have credibility. Now, when we're talking about engagement, we're still not talking about sales. I didn't say sales yet, because there's more to email marketing than just sending an offer and people clicking on it and purchasing. Okay. The list health is something that's going to come into it. Who are we emailing to? What are the lists? What are their demographics? Are they aligned with the messaging? So that's going to be something that we'll save for the second part of this chat, which will be how do we evaluate what we're doing and make it better? So we have visibility, we have credibility, and then the next one that would be on there would be engagement. So are people actually opening and looking at it? Are people clicking on the links that you have in there? Is anybody opening any of these? Now, the wonderful part about that metric is that's going to be in your email marketing program or whatever you're using. So you'll be able to track that, and you can put KPIs against it after you do benchmarks and blah, blah, blah. So that's a good solid one that you can look at and track. But also, maybe you are trying to track sales. So if you're a product-based company, you might want to see how much revenue that your emails are generating. That is something that is available to you depending on the email marketing program that you use and the integrations that you have. Okay, so now we're starting to get a little bit broader, right? We're starting to talk about the low-hanging fruit, but the things that are a little bit more intangible, such as visibility, engagement's more tangible, and credibility. Those are really great things about email marketing. So why am I even interested in those? Because you want to be hitting those marks all the time with any marketing that you do. You want to make sure that everyone sees your name. Everyone has kind of a preconceived notion based on your content as to what your brand is and who you are. These are good things because people are starting to recognize you. People are starting to understand you. And when they see you in the inbox, they know what they're supposed to expect. So this is positive. So now we are looking at more quantifiable KPIs. So we're going back to the initial question. What do you want to get out of this? I want more leads. I want to win more meetings. I want more people to engage with our content. So that is not enough for me yet. I need to know exactly what those numbers actually are and how they shake out. Because if I'm saying, I want more people to engage with my content, like, what the hell does that mean? Tell me. I want to increase our link clicks by X. I want our open rate to always be at this rate or above. Right there, we're starting to talk about metrics that are attainable and also strategic. One of the things is I do feel that when we start talking about email marketing, we get in the weeds really quickly about the mechanics of the program that we're working within. So when I'm talking about email marketing, I am not talking about you opening your Gmail and sending someone. Gmail is not an email marketing platform. It's an email program. Okay. Something different. So if I'm doing email marketing, it could be Campaign Monitor, it could be Sendinblue, it could be MailChimp. A lot of people use it in Contact, Klaviyo, which is my own personal favorite because I'm a numbers nerd. There's lots of different programs that you can use. So what are you using? And why did you choose it? One of the problems I see when I start, so initially when I'm talking to somebody, I'm asking them, okay, what do you want to get out of this? And then what's your consistency? How do you send? How do you write? What's your list size? And then I usually stop my questions and then I'm going to start doing my due diligence on a different level because I need to get my hands in the sandbox to start playing around with what's in there to see what's true and what's not true. Or are they not sure what they're supposed to be looking at as it directly relates to their goals? So that's what I'm looking for. What I hear is sales. I want sales. That's usually what everybody wants. Now, do I feel like email marketing is a sales machine? I think it can be, but I think it needs to be multifaceted so that your audience doesn't think that it's just constantly being sold to. Let's take a look. All right. So the first thing that I usually look at is the email marketing environment. So what program is being utilized? Are you using MailChimp? Great. Are you using the tagging function in MailChimp? Are you building those lists? Do you have automations built? I'm going to start diving in to see how you're using what you're paying for. And a lot of people say, hey, I have like 60,000 contacts. We send them out emails all the time and boom. But you're talking to me, right? So you wanted to have a conversation about your email with me, meaning that all of that stuff that you have is wonderful, but it's not working for you. So if I have a situation like that, I go into the email program and I start taking a look to see how it's being utilized. So if I have 60,000 contacts and they're getting one email a month and that email is bouncing at a 90% rate, that means that the list is terrible. That list needs to be clean and no one's looking at that. What if the list is clean and nothing's happening? I look and the subject lines are terrible, or there's misspelling in headlines, or everything's an image that needs to be opened separately. So when someone gets the email, it's just a whole bunch of little boxes, rectangular boxes with an X in it. You know, you've seen those before. That is the absolute death knell for a email marketer, because if your content can actually be seen, people are going to unsubscribe because they feel like it's probably spam. And that's just a confirmation bias that has no real bearing on truth, but it's what people think. So how do you keep those lists great? And how do you keep the opportunities flowing in? With the strategy that is really built at the very start with a main objection in mind. What do you want to get? What's the objective, rather, that you were looking to achieve? So if it is an increase in sales, what I would say is, what is the direct number related to that? How many sales would you like to create? Just take a wild stab. Then maybe what you need to do first is do some industry research on the goals that you're putting forth within your industry and see if there are any benchmark numbers available. Now, when you're looking at benchmarks, they need to be like benchmarks, because I've heard many times, my business is not like anyone else. Darlings, we are snowflakes in a blizzard. Every snowflake is different and unique, but there's so many of them. And look at your inbox, right? If you're a marketing professional, you get more emails than you could possibly even imagine. So if that is the case, how do you stand out without melt? How are you going to resonate with that audience? And that is going to be when you get your objective and you put it against the right content, against the right list. We're talking about lists now. And what if you have one list? So this is one of my biggest, it's a pet peeve, but I understand why. Anytime I see it, I don't roll my eyes and go, oh, I can't believe they missed this. People just put everything into one list. And what happens is when you are trying to execute or really mount a strategy on top of your email marketing program, and your lists are built with one list and it's like all contacts 2025 or something like that, it's hard to know where these people have come from, what they are interested in, many different factors. Because if you think about it, I've talked to people recently where they're like, oh, yeah, I work in these 10 industries. And then you look at their email and they have one list that has all of those people together. So why is that an issue? That is an issue because you cannot put forth any hyper relevant email marketing initiatives because you have to water everything down so it hits everybody the same. Watering down what you're trying to send out for engagement is going to get you ignored because no one likes boring shit that doesn't even apply to them, or it doesn't seem specific enough to how I'm feeling. What I want to do is if someone is going to email market to me to try to get me to do something, I want them to understand who I am, understand what I do on a daily basis, and know my pain points. So that's what you don't have the luxury of doing. And then I've had clients that have said, you know what? Let's just spray and pray. Put that really specific message out in that niche industry. It's not all of that email list, but maybe people will share it with someone else. I would never do that. Why would I not do that? I would not do that because I would start browning off the list that is my main lifeline to execute that campaign. The list number is really, really powerful in terms of the results that you're going to be able to get, meaning how many opportunities that I have statistically, you know what I mean, to really make a difference. So if I'm spraying and praying these emails that are really watered down and milquetoast so they can fit in multiple industries, people are going to tune out, meaning that they're going to unsubscribe and your list is going to get smaller. So now your milquetoast one size fits all message is starting to turn people off. I've had other clients that I've worked with that said, no, that's great. This is a good thing. This is cleaning out our list. It's qualifying people out. Of what? You're sending them information that's not relevant to them. They don't signing up probably. And what are you offering me? So I'm out. So this is why when we're talking about lists, I like to really lean in there because it is garbage in, garbage out. Remember what I talked about on the last couple episodes when it was dealing with AI or even Sales Navigator when we're talking about the conferences. The more time that you spend in your planning, the faster your execution and the more efficient your execution is going to be, and you can manage your results much better. It's funny because one of the things that I do is I do watercolor painting. And when I'm painting watercolors, one of the things that I know for sure is that the plan is usually a bulk of the time. I'm trying to plot out how the composition is going to be on my piece of paper, what colors I'm going to use. I'll do a little thumbnail sketch so I can make sure that I have all the colors and I know how things are going to be situated. I mix up my colors, I get everything ready, and then I paint. And I continually paint off of that plan because with watercolors, it really does have the time that you are actually painting is important because you want your colors to mix while they're still wet and so on and so forth. So I spend probably 3 times more time planning than I actually do actually painting the picture. So if that is the case, this is the example that I'm sharing with email. Email is one where you really need to put a lot of planning ahead for it to just automatically run out. and then you can maintain. So again, what I was talking about at the top of this episode is that we're getting ready for third and fourth quarters. Everyone's going to make some big moves in the fall. I got some big announcements. I'm going to some conferences. We have a line coming out. Then we have maybe Black Friday, Cyber Monday stuff that's coming out, or holiday, or whatever. So I have a lot of stuff going on. Guess what you are not going to have time to do? Anything regarding changing your email strategy. Let me say that again. Once you get into the third quarter and the fourth quarter of your annual cycle, you don't have any time to reinvent the wheel with email. That's why when it gets to the point where the campaign is launched, you look at it and you're like, just get it out. I just got to get it out. I have so many things I'm talking as a typical marketer, right? We just got to get things out. We have to push things through the channels, get things rocking and rolling. And you know what? It's going to work. It's not going to work. It's going to work to maybe a minor element or minor successes, but it's not going to make some big changes. So this is a really good time for you to lean in and taking a look at your email marketing program. Things that I would look at. Is your email marketing program providing automation opportunities? Is it connected to your CRM? Is it connected to your website? Is it connected to your store? So for example, if it's connected to your store, say you have a Shopify store, which is pretty normal, or WooCommerce or Magento or whatever. Like there's lots of different options, but Klaviyo is my own personal favorite. I just like it, whatever. I'm not endorsing anything, but I like it. And it connects directly to Shopify. Why do we even care? Like I'm sending emails through Shopify? No, because I can do abandoned cart campaigns. So someone can get an automated email series if they leave something in their cart and exit the website. The program is connected. Klaviyo is connected to Shopify. They go, uh-oh, someone's leaving. And Klaviyo is like, gotcha covered. And then puts that net under that sale so it's not lost. Still could be lost, but it gives you another opportunity to make that sale. So if you're on the e-commerce side, why the hell wouldn't you want that in place? Why wouldn't you want someone that is like looking and leaving before they're purchasing and hit them with something really quickly to compel them back into your store to make that purchase? Number one, it makes you look like you are listening, that you have care, and you are looking after your customers or your potential customers. So that is really, really important. So if you're an e-commerce brand and you're running an email marketing program that has no connectivity to any activity that's happening on your shop, you're missing like 40 tricks. Okay. And what I'm thinking is, God, what is low-hanging fruit to an e-commerce company? Cart abandonment. That is definitely the number one thing that I would be looking for. Also, you should be launching it up on your homepage with a good discount that you have to sign up for in order to get. That's going to help increase that's a low-hanging fruit offer as well, as long as the offer is attractive. Oh, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but this is useful information for you. So I've been asked recently, I actually had a long discussion about it to the point where it's like, come on, if you are offering something on your website that is going to be a discount code, that is going to compel somebody to actually make a purchase on your site, please make it an attractive offer. So what is not an attractive offer? 10% off your order. 5% off your order. Things of that nature are not sexy. They're not compelling. So if you, and again, this is where we create these offshoots. Is your product one that they have to buy again and again? Is it one that they buy once and then you have to offer complementary products to keep them they buy it once and they're done kind of thing? Like they buy the coffee maker and they need nothing else. But what if I have filters and I have a special milk frother or I have whatever? Then you have complementary products that you can keep things moving. So you want to make sure that your discount is attractive enough. Offering just free shipping ain't going to work for me, quite honestly. And make sure that you're able to create codes that are unique to each person that you're dealing with, because that way you're not going to have people just grabbing your codes and putting them on those coupon sites that I frequent before I ever check out of any online store. So there's that. But going back, if we are looking to really move the needle in the third and fourth quarter, what do we have to do? We have to look at our program to see if it offers the level of intelligence and it is pulling the information correctly that can inform our decisions. So that's looking at the API. The API code is in your email marketing program, and you plug it into your website or Google Analytics or Shopify or what have you. And then it pulls the whole journey. So you'll be able to see what happens when someone gets an email, do they purchase, that type of thing. So that's really important. Another thing is really important is your lists. I've not talked about content yet because content's all you're thinking about. You're not thinking about this stuff. And this stuff is the important stuff because this helps increase your deliverability, your conversions, a ton of stuff. Look at those lists. Oh God, but like 10,000 people. How the hell am I supposed to figure that out? You could very easily do a survey that would help you with sorting. That might be a little bit more time consuming than some people are willing to do. But if you're really stuck and you don't know how to do it, that's one way you can categorize some people. Also, just looking through the history of when they were added, ask the principals of the company where these lists came from. Warning, warning, warning. If you hear from the people that you're asking in your company where these lists have come from, and they say, that's all of my Gmail contacts, whoa, careful now. You're going to need an acquisition campaign, meaning you're going to have to get new email addresses and you're going to have to do something that runs on a regular basis that is going to add new people to that list. Because if it's only people that have been scraped from Gmails, like Gmail accounts or whatever, that's not going to work. It's not going to work for me. It's not going to work for you. So spend some time. But say you can't make any sense out of that list. And it's like, oh, shit, what am I going to do? It's like, I don't have enough time to do the survey, or my boss won't allow me to do it because he doesn't want me to bother people. And he's afraid that if we send that out, it makes us look like we don't know what we're doing. All the things that someone that you had to sell this idea up to would say no to. What you could do instead is find different ways of segmenting that list. And what you can do is who's opened the email in the last 30 days? Who's visited your website in the last week? There's different activity elements that you can put against your list so you can see how you could base it off of activity. And that's a really good way. That's a shortcut in a way if you want to do that. Because if you wanted to, you could do a campaign for engaged people and you could do one for disengaged people or not as engaged people. You can do one for people that have visited your website or one that hasn't. Imagine if you got an email, and I sent an email to everybody that's visited my website in the last week and say, hey, I know that you visited the website in the last week, but we just put up this brand new X, Y, and Z. Here's a link to it. I wanted to make sure that you didn't. I hope everything's going great. That is a nice way for you to build a relationship with somebody and you understand what their activity was like. So again, looking at your connectivity, looking at your lists and finding ways that you're able to segment them. Next thing I would do is I would look at your campaign performance. So look into the analytics side of your email marketing program. And if we're talking about this and you don't have an email marketing program, but you're doing email marketing, you need an email marketing program. Okay. Just getting whole lists of people and sending them out as a BCC or something like that via Gmail is not a good business. You're not going to be able to track anything. It's going to be a pain in the ass to follow up with all the people that respond to you. How are you going to remove people who no longer exist or retired or left? So these are just things that email marketing programs will help you out with. So I would then look at your campaign metric, look and see what your open rate is, how many people click your emails, what emails are the most popular, which one's the least popular. See if you can build any sort of information around that can inform changes in your campaigns. Also, when are you sending them? Are you only sending them at Tuesday at 7 a.m.? Or are you varying your sending time to see what works best? If you have never done a variable sending trial, it's definitely worth it to try different days and different times to see what works best. Also, going back to benchmarks, when do other people in your industry send these types of emails? Now, why would I want to just copy somebody else's strategy? Well, maybe they've done a whole hell of a lot more due diligence than you have. And that intel could be useful. Give it a try. Test it out. Doesn't work? Abandon it. Try something different. Also, are you A/B testing on subject lines, on content, on design? Or is it just one go every single time and that's it? It's really interesting to A/B test. A/B testing should be easy. And this is something that I use when I'm trying to vet what email marketing program that I want to use is I will absolutely look at how easy it is to A/B test and what the data looks like after I run those tests. That's really helpful for me because I'm able to inform my clients and also my creative team that are building these on what edits should be made to the schedule, to the content, to everything. So those are the main key things. Now, after campaigns, we want to look at automations. What automations have been built? Do you have a newsletter sign up? And then after they sign up, there's a couple emails with additional information or what have you. Do you have a pop-up that is connected to a coupon code that is also attached to an automated flow? These are the things that are going to help make life easier. Pretty much repair holes in your bucket so that you're not leaking water all the time, that you're keeping and retaining all of the good work that you're doing. These are just some real top tier things that you should be considering. So let's rewind and rework this. So, what is your objective? I want more leads. How are we tracking those leads? We're going to be tracking those leads through sales. How are we tracking sales? Through our Shopify website. Okay, excellent. So, in the last 30 days, how many sales were attributed to email as we know it through your online e-commerce platform? Okay, it was X thousand. Perfect. Okay, so that's our benchmark. If we have multiple months, we can create a really solid benchmark. But if we want sales and we're complaining about sales, the number is too low. Maybe throw 20% on that number as your first goal and say, be transparent that we're going to see how this works and we're going to track and we're going to adjust and recalibrate. Now, what some people will hear is that, oh, you don't know what the hell you're doing and you're just playing around. Marketing is testing. So if you've never actually really cleaned things up and made it absolutely crystal clear and pristine in terms of your email marketing environment, the testing is necessary. Then I would look at what influences those decisions of purchase. That would be abandoned cart. Would definitely do that because that would increase it. Are people clicking my emails and are they opening them? Are they clicking them? Are they visiting the website? Are they putting products in their basket? And so on and so forth. All of these things are tied very closely together. Now, this isn't something that you're going to just wave your magic wand and it's going to take you a day or two and figure it out because you have to test. But please do not test anything on email marketing without at least 5 KPIs that are based around your specific activity on email. What does that mean? Find the KPIs that you can very easily track through the analytics portion of your email marketing program, know how to access it on a regular basis, and look at it all the time. What does that mean? Look at it as often as you need to based on your sending consistency. So that's another thing, people. Well, how many emails should I be sending? I don't know. See part 1 of this conversation. I have no idea what you need to be sending out based on a messy list that is unqualified, no KPIs, and the whole idea is leads. So we need to make sure that everything's in place so that we can then make assumptions and we can choose goals that are going to be measurable and meaningful. So I don't want to go on much more on this because I do feel that this is the core problem that I see a lot. It's lists. It's the wrong email marketing program that's been grandfathered in, or we have a free version and that's why we're using it. Here's the deal. If you want sales, don't use free versions. You're going to have to pay for something that's going to be good and robust with all the features that you need. Now, let's talk about the last piece. It's your content. I'm going to leave you with a really, really good tip, and this is going to be food for thought for everybody out there. If you are doing an email marketing program or campaign, and you're coming up with your strategy, you have lists that you feel are hyper relevant and niched out correctly to your target audience profiles or avatars, then what you need to do is you need to find out what are the problems that they're facing. So how would you do that? That would be through customer service, complaints, requests, anything that goes through your chatbot, or it could be common problems that people face in the industry that your service or product fixes. So if that is the case, that is your messaging strategy. Talk about the problems and how you fix them, or give them other good pieces of information that can help them come to better conclusions, either to use you and purchase your product or service, or just, wow, that was a really great piece of information. I really appreciate that. Look at your FAQs. How can your FAQs inform your email marketing content strategy? Also, for like an extra credit, what emails do you like to open up? What ones get you to click? Save them. Put a little flag button or something, a little star next to the email that you really think is amazing. And then reference it. The last extra credit that I'm going to give you is one of the main secrets to success. Now, this is something that I, as a marketing nerd, really love, and it is email marketing intelligence tools. So, what one of these is MailCharts, MailCharts. Just Google them. I don't know what their web address is. What happens with there's many services like this, but this is the first one I can just give you a little bit of an insight on. You can go in there and they will provide you an email that you can sign up to any email newsletter that you want from all of your competitors, perhaps, wink. And then it aggregates all of those emails so you can look at how all of your competitors are doing with their emails in one place. And it gives you stats. It gives you really great information. So if you're done with phase one and you're going into the content phase, or you're looking to do a competitive analysis, that's your tool. It's very inexpensive, it's worthwhile, and it really does help, especially if you have a designer or a copywriter that's not really clicking into how the email marketing mechanics should work. This is a great tool because you can send them examples of things that you may not be able to see otherwise. All right, folks. So the game with email marketing is clean up your act before you get into your main strategic thrust of content and sending out. Make sure that your lists are in order, you're in the right email marketing program that has enough organic flexibility for you. Make sure that your automations are built. Make sure that there's connectivity to your online store or website. All of these things are going to help. Make sure that your objective is going to be tied to measurable KPIs that you can report on and monitor so you see what success looks like and how to get there. And then utilize tools like MailCharts to look at your competitors, get some ideas for fresh content ideas, and use your FAQs to really talk to your niched out, hyper relevant audiences with content that's going to meet them where they are. All right, that's it, folks. I hope you got a lot out of this. Email marketing is such a big topic, but I think these items are the ones that I feel are the most often missed. If you have any other further questions, please, the best way to reach me is via my LinkedIn profile. So please go ahead, send me a connection request, and in the message, please put in that you listen to the show and you have a couple questions. Then I'll accept you straight away because I get a lot of people do come through and request me. So I want to make sure I can get to you. Please just say that in the message that you sent with the request, and I'm happy to bring up your question on a future episode of the Bulletproof Marketer. And also, I can just give you some insights via LinkedIn. It'd be great to connect. Visit us online, thegoagency.com. Free ebooks, free blogs, past episodes, everything that you want. And make sure that you like and subscribe to this video or podcast, wherever you're getting it, to get more of our content. All right. So until next time, you legends, this is Christopher Tompkins for the Bulletproof Marketer. I'll see you soon, folks. Take care.